What is going on, guys? MMA Island team, we got the fight picks, and we are back with Thiago Santos, Glover Teixeira fight card. I never know what to call it, but it's headlined by that. What
UFC
we thought
Vegas
was the number
13.
one. Yeah, UFC Vegas 13. There you go. Thiago Santos, Glover Teixeira headlining the card, what we thought was the number one contender, but it's not, and I'm going to mention it 500 more times in every single video because I'm sad about it. And I will go into that reason why when we talk about it, but we're not talking about it here. We are talking about Ian Heinisch taking on Brendan Allen in this one. A really interesting fight, but I'll pass it on to Zach to start us off.
This fight is the definition of close. These two guys are very closely ranked. The odds are insanely slim. And if there's something that's become a trend is I cannot pick Ian Heinisch fights correctly for the life of me. I picked him to beat Derek Brunson, he loses. I picked him to beat Omari Akhmedov, he loses. I picked Gerald Meerschaert to win, he knocks out Gerald Meerschaert within the first 2 minutes. I think the trend is going to break here. I think I'm finally going to get an Ian Heinisch fight pick correctly, and by picking against him. And Brandon Allen used to be one of these guys too. I used to pick against him every time I got the chance, but I don't know why, because this guy is insanely impressive so far. His UFC tenure, this guy will take you down to the ground. He will make your life hell, and he will submit you. On the feet, he can actually strike pretty well too. And we know that Ian Heinisch's first love is wrestling. That's where he started out in. That's where his base is. And we know his striking is pretty good. I'd say serviceable at best. I wouldn't say it's exceptional, but he has good power. But the wrestling, I think, is going to be more important. And we saw what Brendan Allen can do to a very talented wrestler, because Kyle Dawkins is an incredibly talented wrestler with a very decorated background. And he made Kyle Dawkins look kind of weak on the ground. He looked incredible there and was able to get the win. And he won that fight pretty clearly, and he was disappointed in his performance because he wanted to go out and he wanted to finish him. I love that type of mindset. A guy who's never satisfied in his fights. That means he's only going to go out and push himself to get better. And so that makes me very encouraged, because this is his chance to jump into the rankings against Ian Heinisch, and the motivation he must be feeling. I got to pick him because they're going to be pretty even on the feet. I believe if this fight stays on the feet, you can't call who wins. You just can't. You don't know. But the thing is, it's not going to stay on the feet. This fight will go to the ground at some point, and it is to see, will Ian Heinisch's wrestling hold up against the grappling offense of Brendan Allen? That is the question that needs to be answered in this fight. And to predict the fight, you need to predict the answer to that question. I'm predicting no. I think Brendan Allen's submission and grappling offense is going to be a bit too much for the wrestling defense of Ian Heinisch, and he picks up the win in this fight.
So, a lot of things to mention. You made a lot of good points. Talking about last time we saw Ian Heinisch, obviously knocking out Gerald Meerschaert.
It was very chinny, now that we know.
Apparently. But hey, maybe Hamza Chimaev's the greatest fighter we've ever seen. We have yet to find out. Man, a lot of things to mention. Obviously, you mentioned Brandon Allen. We saw him last against Kyle Dawkins and kind of just dominated that entire fight. Wasn't there a moment at the end of the fight where it was like Kyle Dawkins had like a choke or something?
Yes.
Something like that. But man, talking about Brandon Allen, you're fighting an undefeated Kyle Dawkins, and you dominate him for the most part. Tom Breeze, who we saw recently, who looked really, really good in his welcome back fight. And yeah, we saw Tom Breeze look really, really good in this last fight. And he gets knocked out by Brendan Allen. And then a guy who's on a really good run right now in Kevin Holland.
A boy.
And then Brendan Allen submitted him. And I think that's Kevin Holland's last loss.
Yes.
So man, Brendan Allen's last 3 fights looks really, really good. And then you're looking at Ian Heinisch, so it's like a TKO win over Gerald Meerschaert. TKO win over Gerald Meerschaert, it's like, okay. It's like, if you're not really testing Gerald Meerschaert on the ground, it's like you could win. Because, I mean, Gerald Meerschaert is definitely more of a ground-type fighter. and then it's like a unanimous decision loss to Omari Akhmedov. It's like, that doesn't look too good. Unanimous decision loss to Derek Brunson. It doesn't look too good either.
Hey, Brunson's good, man.
Brunson did look good against Edmund Shabazian, but hey, maybe we don't know too much about Edmund Shabazian. So I don't know, man. I want to see Derek Brunson fight again sometime soon, definitely. But we're talking about this fight, man, I really don't see a way that Ian Heinisch wins this fight. Can you say that he goes out there and knocks out Brendan Allen? I don't think there's a chance in the world that happens. Brendan Allen is very, very smart on the ground. He got submitted by Trevin Giles not way back in 2016, but back in 2016. And again, that's one thing I like to mention. At the time, he was 2-0 heading into that Trevin Giles fight. So it's like, if you're getting submitted at 2-0, it's like you can easily bounce back from that. You can learn some stuff. Since then, he's racked off 8 submission wins. So it's like he's 8-0 since his last submission loss. His game's gotten up. I don't see Ian Heinisch being able to take him down and kind of just dominate him there. We've seen some pretty good takedown defense out of Brendan Allen, and also Ian Heinisch, 19% takedown accuracy at the same time. And then talking about the striking game, Brandon Allen's striking defense is pretty low right now at 35%, very low actually. But he doesn't get hit too often. He's at 2.55 strikes absorbed per minute, which for the most part typically means just the movement has been very good. And I think that's one thing I've noticed out of Brendan Allen as well. I just think Brandon Allen kind of has the advantages in most of these areas. I think that kind of, honestly, I might surprise a bunch of people, but I honestly think Brandon Allen's better on the ground. I think that he can strike with Ian Heinisch. I honestly can't see a way that Ian Heinisch wins the fight outside of maybe just getting a razor close decision win. Who knows? Maybe I'm terribly wrong.
This
Maybe
is your lock?
Maybe Ian Heinisch. It is my lock of the fight. It is my lock.
All right.
Maybe Brendan Allen can get knocked out by Ian Heinisch, but who knows? I don't like the chances of Ian Heinisch being able to go out there and finish Brendan Allen, being a guy who's only been finished once in 18 fights, and also in his 3rd fight ever, and a guy who's currently in the UFC as well. It's actually on the same card, but yeah, man, I'm pretty confident in this one. I don't think Brendan Allen's going to be able to, or I don't think Ian Heinisch is going to be able to go in there and finish Brendan Allen. I don't like the chances of Ian Heinisch being able to go out there and win a decision unless it's like razor close. It really comes down to also with a lot of these fights, it really comes down to, can the fighter take down the other fighter? I don't think Ian Heinisch is going to be able to take down Brendan Allen and keep him there. And also, I like the transitions we saw to Brendan Allen in the Kyle Dawkins fight. So, hey, if Ian Heinisch can put him in a dominant position, maybe Brendan Allen can swap it right over. So, pretty high confidence for me. I got Brendan Allen on this one. I'll take him by decision, or maybe a sub. Who knows? I'll go decision. But I got Brendan Allen on this one. We both got Brendan Allen on this one. Maybe we can finally get an Ian Heinisch pick right. Actually, I picked him to beat Jared Mearshart, so maybe I don't have that curse.
I do.
But maybe we'll see if Zach can break it. So we're both going with Brendan Allen on this one. We're all in Brendan Allen. So make sure you guys are letting us know who you guys got in the comments. If you guys got Ian Heinisch, make sure you guys let us know why. Let us know who you got. Make sure you guys are liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and make sure you guys check out the other Fight Pick videos.